KREM News at Noon begins now.
A vote for a multi-million-dollar wrongful death settlement took place at the Spokane City Council meeting last night. The results of the vote coming up.
And the weather is just about as hot as it's been all summer long, and we are tracking how long this heat wave is going to last through the month.
Oh, construction. It is everywhere. 2 new construction projects beginning today in the inland northwest. What drivers need to watch out for. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin by talking about weather and heading outside. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick, he is standing by in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, it is a hot day so far.
Yeah, I wish I actually rolled up my sleeves another notch more because I can feel it. I'm going to be sweating even after standing out here for just 2 or 3 minutes, let alone anybody that has to be out here for a few hours at a time. Make sure to drink plenty of water, take breaks where there is some air conditioning. I can tell you the Indoor Weather Center just a few feet away, but look at this. It is 90 degrees already in Liberty Lake as we cross past the noon hour right now. 89 in Deer Park and 86 officially out at the airport. Looks like we'll cross into the low to mid 90s for most of the inland northwest today. Obviously, very simple forecast. Sunny and very hot. But so far this summer season, we've gotten up to 97 for a maximum temperature. That actually occurred a couple weekends ago, I should say. Today, probably just shy of that at 94, but tomorrow should be our hottest day of this stretch of weather. I think we will be close to that mark. Today, 94, 95, a lot of mid 90s across the inland northwest. Hottest spot, Lewiston at 101. But hotter yet for tomorrow. And it looks like we're going to finish out July looking like this. A lot of sunshine and a lot of heat. So coming up, we'll show you what the hottest locations of the inland northwest will be these next couple of days and just how hot those thermometers will read before this end of the month. We'll have those details in a few minutes.
Thomas, thank you. And whether or not we meet that 95-degree point several days in a row, it's hot either way, especially in certain neighborhoods. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones reports.
Well, you know, any day you think about us hitting the 90s, it's one of those situations where you got to start thinking about how am I going to cool off? I can imagine this is one of those locations right here. The Manitou splash pad will be nice and busy here this afternoon. But also, if you don't have any AC, if you're in an area where the shade is not necessarily prominent or you're in a low shaded area, what are some of the better ways to find options to cool off? Well, we think about the areas that are going to be heating up the quickest. Think about cities. You gotta think about residential, suburban type neighborhoods, and then also any spot that has more buildings and less natural shade. The more pavement, the hotter it is going to be. It may sound obvious, but it's referred to as an urban heat island. And if you live in that kind of environment, it's a reminder to limit your sun intake and maybe seek out some cool ways to beat the heat. On those 90-degree days, remember to pull back your curtains and keep the cool air inside of your homes. Go for a walk at the mall. For parents, it's a cool inside area that also has free play spaces. Libraries, another free option as well. I've been there as a parent of 2 kids. You want to get out and do something fun, something that's affordable as well. So maybe think about some of the splash pads, maybe think about some of those options we listed as well. Nonetheless, reporting here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Right now, a grind and overlay project starts on Division Street, and some lanes will be closed from 4th Avenue to 7th Avenue. There's no detour, so drivers should expect both slower speeds and some delays. Crews say they'll have the project wrapped up, however, by August 6th. And drivers on State Highway 3 in Idaho should plan for lane restrictions and delays beginning today. Construction crews are replacing a nearly century-old bridge in Benoit County. During construction, traffic will be down to 1 lane. A temporary signal will control the traffic flow, and a temporary bypass road will help cars get around the work zone. They are replacing the bridge because really of how old it is. The new bridge will support heavier loads and more traffic. The road across the bridge will be wider to include 5-foot shoulders, and crews are installing an updated guardrail. So lots of improvements there. Spokane City Council appointed Shelby Lambden to be an interim council member. She'll be the representative for District 2. Lambden is the health equity director at Chaz Health. She also serves as the vice chair on the city's library board. The council appointed her in a 4-2 vote at last night's council meeting. Council members Bingle and Cathcart were the no votes. Lambden will be in the spot for the next 4 months until District 2 can vote coming up in the November election. Also, during the meeting last night, the City Council passed a resolution to start a reforestation program. It is a 1-year pilot that provides resources in downtown Spokane so that people can plant more trees.
I think that it'll make downtown much more enjoyable to live there for folks who do live there. And so all that being said, this is the culmination of a lot of work, and I'm excited that we're here. I hope we learn a lot of good things, and the next planting season is soon, and so getting this passed today means that going into the fall planting season, hopefully we see some real results.
So the Parks and Recreation's urban forestry team will be in charge of that program, and any money they spend will come from the Tree Equity Spokane grant. Also last night, Spokane City Council approved a multi-million-dollar wrongful death settlement for the family of Robert Bradley, who police shot and killed. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy has more.
Prepare to vote.
With that 4-2 vote, the Spokane City Council signed off on a nearly $3.7 million wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of Robert Bradley.
Spokane Police, let me see both your hands.
That suit stems from this incident nearly 3 years ago, captured on police body camera when officers shot and killed Bradley. Officers can be heard yelling at Bradley to show his hands before opening fire. They said they thought he was reaching for a weapon when they fired. Bradley's wife said he was unpacking from a camping trip and that officers didn't give him enough time to comply with their orders before they opened fire. Prosecutors determined the use of deadly force was justified. But the agreed settlement voted on tonight came from a civil jury in federal court. The city will pay roughly $222,000 and insurance will cover the rest. This money goes towards Bradley's 2 children and his estate.
I agree that they should give them the money, the $3.7 million. The problem I have is that that's not justice.
Jim Leedy with the Washington Coalition for Police Accountability voiced his support for the settlement during tonight's City Council meeting. But he questions why 2 council members opposed the resolution.
I also find it disturbing that 2 of the council members, Cathcart and Bingle, did not vote for the settlement, and they didn't give an explanation.
Now that the settlement went through, Leedy hopes the community doesn't forget Bradley and the tragedy.
You have a person who was taken away from his children, from his family, and there's just no justice.
That is Connor McAvoy reporting. Here is some video of a plane that crashed into an Idaho neighborhood over the weekend. Investigators gave us more information about what happened. 3 people died in that crash. The plane was in the air, we're told, for about 2 miles before it crashed into a vacant building in a neighborhood near the Nampa airport. Nobody was hurt on the ground, and investigators are now working to figure out what caused that crash.